Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet. Let me get myself settled here. There we go. Just wanted to be able to get this all organized. Let me do a little bit further down. There we go. All right. Technical difficulties hopefully are done. So good to see you all in the chat. My goodness, we got a lot of folks already waiting. Thank you so much for being here. We've got Hannah working for us as well as our wonderful moderator. Lovingly, we call her our bouncer sometimes. So thank you, Hannah, for being here. We're going to just start right off. I'm going to let you know that I had decided before I went live that the first person in the chat was going to get a book today. So Brat's mom, email me your address. I want to send you this book. Been trying for weeks to give these books away. Finally got in touch with Debbie. Finally, we got our email situation. It was a kind of a weird situation I won't go into, but we finally connected and I was able to get her the book. She has the book, but Brat's mom, this is yours. This is Noelle Stiles' book that we featured it's been a few weeks ago now. And for those of you looking for different styling in crochet cables, you can check out her book. It's on Amazon, I believe. And $26.95 is the retail. Of course, nobody pays retail anymore. It's probably going to be less than that on Amazon. So please check that out. And let me go ahead and let me just dive into the chat because lots of people are here. So Brat's mom, congratulations and thanks for being here. And she's reminding us to hit the thumbs up if you can. That would be fantastic. She says it's a beautiful day here in Southwest Chicago suburbs. I'll be home from the farmer's market in time for the live. Yay! And Feather River Crafter, welcome to you from fall. She says, good morning all from a warm and ready for fall Northern California. Wow, I bet it's beautiful this time of the year. We haven't had our leaves start yet, but it feels wonderful out here. And Guy Gone Bible, hey Bobby, so good to see you in the chat. I'm so sorry to hear of your sad news of your cousin, though. I will be continuing to pray for you. You've been on my prayer list for a long time, and you will be there for a while, so don't worry. And he's asking everybody if they could please pray for his family in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Anyway, concerning his cousin passing away. And Cynthia says, happy day for Bonnie and everyone. I finally got enough nerve to start the Celtic braided sweater. I'm doing better than I expected. Yay. And I know that some of these patterns that I have out there for you all, sometimes they can be a bit challenging. I understand that. But the best way to learn how to do challenging things is to just dive in, make mistakes, get messy, rip it out if you need to. As a designer, I do a lot of ripping here because I have an idea. I try to implement it and it just doesn't work on the first try. Thank you. Thank you, Archer Nace. She says, God bless you and your family. Thank you for that donation of $10 in the super chat. Let me go ahead and do a little bit of administration here. I need to write this down because we're starting fresh again. Thank you so much. The next donation, I believe, is going to Rancho 3M. Okay. I'll just go ahead. I just had to make a note for myself. So thank you for your generosity there, Terry. I so appreciate that. And let's see. We have Wanda Gordon. Hey, Wanda. Good morning to you. She says it's a beautiful day in North Carolina. Yeah, it's like 68 degrees here and low humidity. My husband and I were driving home last night from getting together with some friends, and we put the top to the Miata down on the way home, and it said it was like 68 degrees. By the time we got home, it had dropped to 64. I mean, it was a little chilly last night with the wind, but it felt amazing after, all the heat of the summer days that we've had. Thank you, Wanda, for praying for Bobby and his family. That is so kind of you. And Red Hooked, good morning to you. I got your email this morning. She says, "Good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, and all of our Yarny friends. To Bobby and his family, thank you." Yeah, it was so good connecting with you. But for those of you who've never been to a conference, there's so much to do, so much to see, so many people to talk to, and honestly, I never get enough time. I love teaching the classes, but you can only be in one place at one time, and there's so many things going on at these conferences, and it's just a really wonderful event. So I'm really glad that we got to connect even a little bit, Red Hooked. And your yarn is beautiful. I was gonna email you back once the live was over, but love the yarn you got. She got yarn from the same people. I think I have the bag. Here we go. From this company, the Yarn Smith, and she's online, and that's where I got that gorgeous, gorgeous. Let me show you again. I know you all saw this last week, but I just have a bag of yarn. I still haven't done anything with it, and I'll tell you why. I have an excuse that you think you're going to like. So this is the one that I got from the Yarnsmith, and I think the one that Red Hook got was a little more of a dark turquoise. It had a little more blue in it, but her yarn's just gorgeous. It just jumped out at me. But anyway, if you want to see all the other gorgeous stuff that I got in the bag, you can check out last week's live. If you missed it, I had a song for you all, just for thanking you for the super chat. And is this an Oh, Stephanie, thank you so much. Stephanie, I just got another $10. Okay, so let me go ahead and find my notepad. Well, thank you so much. I know it's an antiquated way for me to keep track of this, but it's just the way I do it. um, so thank you so much. How do I get back? There we go. Yes, anyway, if you wanted to check out all that we did, there's also a separate video on the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival that I put just kind of just a slideshow with music, not a lot of talking or anything. No talking actually. But just scenes from. It's only like 5 or 6 minutes long, but scenes from my perspective, that I took with my camera while I was there. I know that there were other things that were happening that I didn't get to capture because of time. One is Stacy with Soap Sack. She makes a lot of these, and a lot of people bring them and donate them. I don't remember how many were donated, but they got a lot of them. They donated to a lot of shelters, military, retirement people. I mean, just all sorts of different organizations. And she just does, a really, really wonderful work with that. I really wanted to go in there to have time to sit and chat, but with teaching 6 hours a day, it just didn't work out. But anyway, it was great to connect with her and everything. All right. Uh, and we have Stephanie. Good morning. And thank you, Feather River Crafter, for caring for Bobby. And Barbara, good to see you. She says canning tomatoes here. Wow. Our Alaskan friend who's so talented. Um, and Angie, and we have Angela from Tulsa, Oklahoma, says, "God, I can finally catch a live. I'm warping onto my rigid heddle loom." I had to read that slowly. I am not a weaver, but that is really cool. Just wanted to make sure the warping wasn't an AI or a change by mistake. But yeah, she really meant that. Wow, that is so cool. And we have DL Crisp in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And Alana says, "Hello, my Yarny friends and Bonnie and family." Thank you so much. And thank you, Angela, for caring for Bobby. And thank you, Hannah, for greeting everybody so cheerfully. I so appreciate that. Um, I think Hannah had a fairly good week at school as far as the classes go. So thank you all for praying for Hannah. Just please don't stop. She's going to need your help and the help of the good Lord throughout this semester as she studies anatomy and physiology part 2 as part of a nursing program. It's not for the faint of heart, I promise you. And let's see, we have that's Stitch-tastic. Wow, that's a cool name. Says, "I'm still working on a hill Afghan, but I'm really enjoying it." That's great. There's and let me say one thing. about the release of these different throws. And by the way, I hope you enjoyed the ball morale cable throw that was released on Tuesday of this past week. I just figured I'd hold it off until Tuesday because I know Monday you guys were out having fun and celebrating Labor Day, and however you do that. I know we were out on a drive, and just wanted you to take time away from the computer. But anyway, I hope you enjoy that. That design is also going to be appearing in a special newsstand edition of Crochet World magazine. It's supposed to be out soon. It should be up electronically on Annie's. It was supposed to have been up, but it looks like we're still waiting for it. But it should be appearing on the newsstands in the stores around or about September 24th. So I hope you enjoyed the preview of that throw. It's a very consistent pattern. I don't even have it here to show you because it's still with Annie's. I'm waiting for them to ship it back to me. And once they do, I'm going to have some more giveaways for the magazine, I hope. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else is in that magazine. So I love the special newsstand editions that they do. Excuse me. And what brings me around to the comment about still working on the Easter throw is that I'm going to be releasing a couple more throws in a kind of a tight time frame. So don't feel like you have to make it now or you can't make it, because as you know, I don't play that game. I know sometimes people put things up, oh, this is a limited time, so if you don't watch it now, you're never going to see it again. I don't play that game. Okay, I just know people's lives are busy. I know that I'm not the center of them. Thank you, Lord. And I want it to be there as a resource for you whenever you can and whenever you need to go back to it. So until things, as far as I know, that it's going to be there, unless somebody else beyond my control takes it down, but it will be there as far as I can control. And we're going to be releasing another throw in October. I just wanted to warn you about this one. I'm calling this one Bonnie's Christmas Cable Throw. It has 2 new ways built on the same system that I use of the way I make my crochet cables, but it's using newer cables or just kind of expanded on that. And it's going to take 20 balls of this. This is the Paint Box yarn Simply Aran. If you don't like this yarn, you can use any kind of worsted weight yarn. It took me, this is a little tiny bit of an overage in the estimate, but around 4,000 yards. Okay, so 4,000 yards. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, that's almost a mile. It's just shy. It's about 4/5 of a mile of yarn. Wow, that's a scary thought. So 20 skeins, and if I were you, I would maybe even order 1 or 2 extra. I mean, I always order extra because since I design, I never know how many balls of yarn it's going to take. And if you tend to crochet a little more loosely, you might use a little bit more. If you crochet more tightly, you might use less. But anyway, so if you're looking for yarn sales, I didn't see one. There might be one on paint box yarns. I saw one a couple days ago. I do have a link in my video description if you want to use my affiliate link. Doesn't cost you any more. But I believe a couple days ago, this was, I think, 40% off, but I could be wrong on that. Okay. But look for the sales that are local to you. And I know if you're outside the US, outside of the UK, this may not be available to you. Use whatever you have. I mean, maximize the resources in your area. As long as it's a worsted weight, or even if you want to make it a smaller blanket, you can use a smaller yarn. It can be a nice lap blanket if you use a number 3 weight or a DK weight. So that's the beauty of throws, is it's not a fitted item. So it really doesn't matter what you use. It'll just determine the size of the blanket ultimately. So Hannah just sent me a text here from Stephanie. Says, I would appreciate a prayer for my daughter traveling with her high school band today. Yay. At 2 p.m. Central Time. And they start back home midnight and won't be here till 2 a.m. or later. My anxiety is high. Well, Mom, rest assured, we will, just I think you have the right attitude, is just pray, and, what a wonderful time. That just takes me back to being in the high school band, and we took some trips with our high school band, like, outside the country a couple times, and, it wasn't because we were rich, it's because we had a great band director, who instead of working for a trophy on the shelf, decided to take his group, who were just a bunch of tag team blue collar kids, took us on an adventure that we would never have otherwise. And yeah, so he was amazing. And we sold a lot of Christmas trees to get there. And I'll just tell you, my first time I was ever on a plane, it was a DC-10, and it was 1979, and we flew all the way to Madrid, Spain. Yeah, Madrid, Spain. A bunch of blue collar just tag team kind of kids. Nothing special about us, but we had a band director with a vision, and he helped provide, and it didn't cost us a penny out of our pockets because we sold so many Christmas trees on our band lot, which ironically was located right behind the local funeral parlor. So, you just can't make this stuff up. And some sends me a text, "Where do you get the paint box yarn?" Okay, I should have said that. The paint box yarn is available at lovecrafts.com. If you look in the video description, I believe I do have a link to Lovecrafts, or to if you look at the little thing that I have in the video description about the Easter throw, it's the same yarn that I'm using for the Easter throw. So it's just that you need less of it. Okay. All right. So if that's stitch-tastic, thank you for that prompt, just to be able to share that. And after the Christmas throw, I don't know if I'm gonna release this next one or not, but I do have that Irish throw coming as well. It's, my wild Irish throw is coming. I just don't know if I should release that before Christmas or after. I may hold that until January. So, just not sure yet, because I know once November once Thanksgiving happens, I know everything goes downhill as far as activity on, I mean, in a good way. When it comes to video watching, I've followed the analytics for years, and I know, because you guys are out like me preparing for Christmas and the holidays, or whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah, or you know whatever you celebrate, that's just a very, very busy time, and a year end. So anyway, I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do, but I do have a couple sweaters coming your way. A lot of stuff I'm just waiting on some editors, but I have things that are coming to you, I promise. Um, And DL Chris said to Cynthia, "I just finished the Celtic braided sweater. You will enjoy making it. Yay. I'm glad that was your experience. I know sweaters are tricky." And Esther, hello. She says, "Just dropping by to say hi. Since my dad is off today from work, I'm going to spend the time with him. Blessing to you all." What a great idea. I tell you what, if my dad was still here, I would definitely take the day off and spend the day with him. Ugh, it was his birthday yesterday, so yeah, me miss you, Dad. All right. Um, Archer Nace again, waving right back at you. Thank you again for your generosity. Um, and I know you guys are not rolling in the dough, so to speak. So that is just extra special. I think it's just means a lot more. And I know that the kids at Rancho 3M, they're far from rolling in the dough. They will really, really appreciate that. It's such a joy to be able to give to them. Um, and again, Hannah, thank you for your comments there. And Jessica says, "Salutations from Cleveland, at work, crocheting my most popular item." Yay. Please send me a picture of what that is, Jessica. I would love to see. Anne Marie, good to have you in the chat. Just hello, Bonnie and Hannah. Hope you are having a great day. Yes, ma'am. Um, and Stephanie says, "Yes, I frogged my row 8 again. It was still wrong. LOL. Rip, rip, rip. I'll be fine." Oh, yeah. Story of my life. But just think about it. It's so much easier to rip back and crochet than it is with knitting. Trust me on this. I have done it. I have one completed and one, it's the only one I'll probably ever do. Um, Lace scarf. It's beautiful, blocked, it looks lovely. I had to start that about 3 or 4 different times because a loop would get lost and I wasn't sure which direction it was twisted or if I needed to add another one and it would just distort the entire design. So I didn't know how to even recover from that. So it was rip, 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 rip all the way back to row to the cast on actually. And Archer says, I'm working on one too, and I'm in North Olmsted. Yeah, you guys should get together. Um, And Brat's mom says, "I'm so excited to be a winner. Thank you so much." Yeah, don't forget to send me your mailing address, Linda. You may have won things in the past. I don't remember, but I honestly don't keep people's information unless you sign up for my newsletter. And even then, I just have your email with that. And just to let you know, if you haven't signed up for my Bonnie Bay Crochet newsletter, I didn't even send one out this week. I need to try to get one together. Probably do that the first of next week. But I send them out 2 to 3 times a month, so it's not like something you're going to have to clear out of your email every single day, like some companies. I don't do that. I don't have the time to spam like that, and I wouldn't if I did. And I don't sell your names, just to let you know. And you can look in the video description, like everything's in the video description, right? And if you're not sure how to get to that video description, you'll see some, let me see if I can look at it while I'm on live. Well, I can't, but you'll see a little, it says more or something like that. It'll say some writing. And if you click on whatever it says, like more or show more or something like that, and it'll open up a lot of information in that description. So, so yeah. Anyway, so the newsletter is free. I don't I do not, you know what I mean when you sign up for something, a free giveaway, and then suddenly your spam just multiplies. It just has babies like crazy. I don't It's because people sell your name and they get money for selling their contact list. And I just think it's borderline immoral to do that. But I feel like whenever you sign up for my things, that you're entrusting me with this information and it does not go any further. And people have asked, and I just politely say, nope, nope, no way, Jose. So anyhow, um, but do send me an email so that I have your mailing address. And then as soon as I put it in the mail, I don't retain all that information at all, just to let you all know. Um, and Denise, it's good to have you from Illinois, and Carmelita May. What a beautiful name! Wow, that just sounds wonderful. And love to craft. It's good to see your hand waving there. And Sandra, she says 105 here in Southern California in Beaumont, 109 in, is it Arizona, where I'm traveling right now to visit my daughter. Ooh, why don't you come visit us? It's in the 60s here. Just come to Maryland. It's a good time to visit the capital. Well, at least to visit, go north of the capital, visit me in Maryland. It's a good day to come here. The sun is shining. We might get a little bit of rain, but it's supposed to remain cool. Um, I'll see about that, Hannah. Uh, and Feather River Crafter says, okay, okay, soothing. I got that. All right, and and again, Stephanie, thank you so much for your generosity. And Feather River Crochet says, working on both Bonbon and Ball Morale. It's soothing. Wow, that's great. Um, okay, Stitch-tastic says, has anyone ever shown you um how to use lifelines when knitting? I have seen that, but honestly, I just haven't had a lot of time to delve into the more geeky aspect of knitting. I'm content with where I am right now with that. But I have heard of that before. But this was a long time ago. This is when I was just starting out, and it was supposed to be an easy. If someone says an easy lace pattern, don't believe it. um, and somebody wants to know, could you describe your editing process? Not sure. Okay. I would I guess I would need a little more detail on what you're referring to as far as editing, mm, uh, like the writing process, or um, I would just need to know a little bit more about that question. And if you want to have an in-depth conversation about that, you can always email me, bonniebay@me.com. Again, that information's in the video description. And from Anetta, says, "Hello, Bonnie. Where can I buy your patterns? And are they written or do you have a diagram pattern as well?" Okay, good question. I do have most of my independent patterns are at lovecrafts.com. I have some at Etsy, but Etsy is nowhere near as comprehensive as Lovecrafts right now. I'm going to try to build up the Etsy one so that I have as many there because it is a different audience. Some people, gravitate towards that and maybe don't even know what Lovecrafts is. But and then there are many that are in books. There are probably another 100 or more that are in my two books, and those are in publisher-owned books by Penguin Random House. I have two major books there, and I have about 8 leaflets with Leisure Arts that own all of those patterns, and those are available. You can find those on Amazon.com. If you just look up Bonnie Barker Crochet on Amazon.com, it should bring up all the books that I have in publication. I also have some that are independently published by me through KDP. So kind of scattered, but basically the books and Lovecrafts will have the majority of what I have. Um, and Stephanie wants to know, what magazine was I talking about earlier, and where to purchase it? Okay, it's not been advertised yet, but it should be coming out any day now. I don't even know the title of it, but it will be a winter edition. I don't know if it's going to be a winter edition, Christmas edition, holiday edition. I don't know what they're going to call it, but it will be with Annie's.com. It'll be a part of their catalog. It will be a special Crochet World magazine newsstand edition. It's not going to be the edition that is mailed to you 4 times a year if you have a subscription for their magazine, or if you're a Crochet Guild of America or CGOA member. If you're a member of Crochet Guild of America, you automatically get a subscription to Crochet World magazine as part of your membership. So if you're going to subscribe to Crochet World, I would go ahead and join uh, the guild, the Crochet Guild of America, because you're going to get the magazine complimentary when you join. Yeah. So, but as soon as it comes out, I will let you know. If you want to join my newsletter list, I'll be sending all the information there, which is probably easier than here in some ways, because you could just click on the links that I include if you're interested in something, if that makes sense. So, and Monique wants to know, what are those beautiful pieces behind you? The blue shawl and the gold and green blankets. Okay. Um, all right. Thanks for asking, Monique. Behind me is the Quadro Triticale scarf. Um, I'll tell you what, you can look that up online. Let me go ahead and show it to you. Just realized I forgot to put my twinkle lights on behind me. Okay, so this is where is it? Here we go. Let me show you the cabling. This is the Quadra Triticale shawl. It's an asymmetrical shawl, but it turns out when you crochet it to the size that I recommend, it ends up being a bona fide triangle, very, very similar to the symmetrical triangular shawls. I love wearing them as I'm wearing this one. It's a shawl. You can also wear it as a scarf. So this is kind of a nod to the Star Trek, the old 1960s Star Trek Trouble with Tribbles, because quadrotriticale is a wheat, and the blue just reminded me of that because it's a four-lobed wheat, the quadro, and then and the blue reminded me of Romulan ale in the series, if you know what I'm talking about, those if you're diehard fans. And these other things that you're seeing behind me are simply, this is a scarf. This is also on my channel. And this is a stole, which is called the Gaithersburg stole, which is in one of my books. It's in the Contemporary Celtic Crochet book. All of these are on my YouTube channel, and you can you can find them quite easily on the channel. Let me go ahead and put this back. So it just gives it such a pretty background, I think. There we go. All right. That looks so much better than the white t-shirt behind me. But I have to show you, I'm really enjoying the stud brooch that I got from Laura at the fair. And here's the little matching thing. And this is so much fun to just take the bacon scarf and just wear it as a shawl. And I just really like these. And these are affixed with these little leather things behind. Let me show you how easy they are to pop off. You can pop them off like that, or just pop it back on. And they're very secure. And these are great because I can fix the shawl the way I want to wear it. I can take it off. I can leave it on the table, just leave it somewhere with this on. And then if I want to get ready, I can just throw it over my head and go. I don't have to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out how to put it together. So Jewel Designs, if you remember her, I do have some videos on some of the styling from her. Again, this is not an affiliate link or anything. This is just a friend pointing to another friend saying she's got some great things that I really enjoy. All right, let me see what else I need to tell you all about. Ooh, I have something to show you. I have a new project that's coming. And actually, I'll be right back. Let me go get the yarn that I used for this. Feel like Steve on Blue's Clues, running back and forth. This is what I used. I just love this yarn. This is the same yarn that I used on a baby blanket recently. I can't remember which one. Oh, I see it right there. It's the knit baby blanket. But I decided to try making a scarf. And when I taught my 3 ways to crochet braided cables class in Pittsburgh, I told the ladies, I said, be on the lookout. I'm going to come out with a scarf. So this is what I ended up with. And I just love the way this turned out. It's a skinny scarf, but believe me, it's nice and warm. And this is so soft. And look how the color just gradually changes on this. So what I envision, with this, I mean, you could probably even, wrap it around, a bit if it's really cold. But, otherwise, it would be a great size, I think, for either an adult or even a child. And you only need one cake. I didn't even use the whole cake of yarn. And this is well over 60 something inches long. And I will say, up against the skin, it feels amazing. This is 100% acrylic. Let me see. Did I put the right side up? No, that's the back side. Okay, here. Gotta see the. Am I doing this right? Yeah, there we go. You got to be able to see the pretty braid. So This will be coming. This is a jumbo braid. I don't have any videos on my channel yet with this, but this is an even larger braid, probably the largest braid that I've ever crocheted with five stitches wide on each section. And it looks like you just kind of braided, some fabric, but you didn't. This is all crocheted in rows back and forth, back and forth. And it's the same braid that is in the Celtic braided throw that was released earlier in this year. So be on the lookout for this. This will probably be a couple weeks in coming. I do need to get this written up and um, in the video edited and whatnot, but that is coming. Another thing I wanted to show you, this is from one of the ladies, uh, Rose Alice, took 4 classes with me. She's a wonderful lady from New York. And she gave me a bag of um, thread crochet, thread crochet needles that she doesn't have need for. I don't do a lot of thread crochet, but I was very interested in this, and she wanted, I guess, to give this a new home. It's a set. Do you see that? Of tiny, tiny interchangeable hooks. And again, this is for, thread crochet. Look how, I don't even know if this can focus on that, how tiny this is. I actually have a magnifying glass because the sizes are written on the post of each of these. I can't read them with the naked eye. I had to get my magnifier, and I found out that this is an old boy set, Boye. Now, you all know that I'm a Susan Bates girl, those of you who follow me, with the regular crochet hook. But when it comes to this size hooks, it really doesn't matter as much. Um, in fact, the boy hooks are probably just as good as anything. And come to find out, these were, and you can look at the back side. You can see this is just a partial. The lid to this is missing. But I looked online, and I think this is from around 1919. This is from a long time ago. So, these guys have been around. So what I did, I showed this to my son, and I was hoping he could make a handle for me because obviously the handle is missing that you would insert these into. And so my son, the machinist, looked at this and said, "Oh, mom, you just need a pin vise." Okay. So I did see online where I could get a pin vise with a wooden handle that these would fit into, and then you tighten it, and then you could crochet. The only problem is the one source that I found, the the handle was like $7 or $8, but then the shipping was about $13. So I'm like, well, we're just gonna look around, and I think it may just go up to Home Depot or Lowe's or some other, small local hardware store and see if they can, find a vise that these will fit into. And once I find something with a hopefully an ergonomic handle, um, then I'm going to be good to go. So Rose Alice, thank you so much for these. I'm going to remember you every time I look at these or use them. And I am going to be using some thread crochet in the future. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do yet. It's something quite different than what you would think. It's not going to be a doily. It's not going to be a decorative thing, but something that I think would be quite functional. Okay, what size hook for the scarf? Good question. For this scarf, I used um, I used a size K or 6.50 millimeter. Okay, that's a size. Yeah, it's a size K. Now, if you don't have this yarn available, this could even be done with thicker yarn. And I have some thicker yarn here that I actually may try making another one with. Because if you have thicker yarn, it's clearly going to be wider. So I would just say match the hook to the yarn. If I went with thicker yarn, I would probably bump up to a size L or which is also a size 11. The K is a 10 and a half in US size. Again, 10 and a half or 6.50 millimeter. Um, The the L is 8.00 millimeter or a size 11. Which if you go thicker than this is a bulky weight, number 5 weight yarn, but it's on the thinner side as far as bulky yarn goes. But the colors are just beautiful, and this is just one of the many colors that they have. So anyway, that will be something coming in the future to the Bonnie Bay Crochet YouTube channel. Well, let me get back to you guys because I left you all way behind. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Carol in Oregon for joining us. And let me see. Hold on a second. A lot of comments. I'm way so far behind. Ooh, I'm about a day behind here. And Stephanie, yeah, thanks again. Lisa Fitzgerald says, "Hi, Bonnie, working on the bacon shawl, fun pattern. Pick up some jewel stud buttons to use with it. Yay! Yeah, that's what I've got. Yep, yep. She's got some of the best stuff. And DC wants to know if you have any upcoming projects or crochet alongs for this Christmas. I have the Bonnie's Christmas cable throw is coming. Um, I'm not running an official crochet along where you dish out a little bit at a time. I'm just going to release the entire video. It's going to be just under 2 hours long from start to finish. Now, it's going to take you longer than 2 hours to crochet the project, obviously, but the instructional time is just under 2 hours. So, and again, that's the only thing that I have right now coming. Of course, I have many playlists on my channel that are quite suitable for quick gifts, for easy crochet gifts. You know, yeah, I just have a lot of resources already up if you're interested. If you're looking for something specific, um, let me know. But yeah, it'll be in October that I release that. Okay, so be on the lookout. It will be coming sooner than you think. I cannot believe we're 6 days already into September. Can you? I mean, that's like, when did this happen? I remember looking forward to the summertime, but that's already gone. Crazy time. All right, we have whoop, Chris. Oh, come on. Okay, click on things, and then things happen that I don't want to happen. Um, okay, so we have Christine Murphy says hello from a rainy Northeast Ohio. Thank you, Christine. And Catherine from Oklahoma. She says, I'm working on a fox themed cardigan. That sounds really cool. And Carmelita says, here from Henderson, Kentucky. Wow, I love Kentucky. We can wave, hey, all the Kentucky, 2 people at least from Kentucky, Bobby and Carmelita. And let's see. And thank you, Hannah, for just the way you're doing, encouraging people here. Um, Denise says the bacon shawl design made me smile. Yeah, it was kind of fun. And I can thank Hannah again for giving me the name because I just showed it to her. I said, "What does this remind you of?" She just looks like bacon. So I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it does." I hadn't even thought of that. But anyway, uh, oh, my package just came. Yay! And Denise, good to see you in the chat. And Carol, um, said, "Yes, Hannah, you are a blessing to many." Yes, she is. And uh, and Cynthia Burke, good morning to you. Um, Denise is asking Catherine, is the cardigan crochet or knit? That's a good question. And we've got you on our prayer list, Stephanie, for your daughter. That's so cool that she can do the band trip. And yeah, and Brat's mom's wishing Hannah hello and so glad you had a good week at school. Yeah. And Catherine is crocheting the cardigan. Okay, that is noted. It's bulky and loose fitting with hand covers. That sounds perfect. And Rebecca says, hello, Bonnie from Romeo, Michigan. First time watching you. Well, welcome, Rebecca. I'm so glad you could join us. Sorry it took me so long to get to your comment there. That's pretty normal um, on these Fridays. And thank you guys for praying for each other. Goodness gracious, it's so wonderful. And Denise says, Christmas throw, always something to look forward to. Have to run. I hope you have a great day, Denise. And is it Mavian from Sweden? Wow, welcome. So glad that you could join us from all the way across uh, in in the north, way on the other side there, across the pond. It says first time on the live. Well, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, just let us know and we'll try to get to it. Um, And Stitchtastic says, I've noticed that the big box stores are phasing out more and more of the really nice brands and going to their in-house brands. It's really disappointing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Stitchtastic. I am not a seller of yarn, but I do know that the economy in general um, is not doing so great, at least in the US. Case in point, and I'm not gonna fuss about this, I know everybody feels it, but I have a very tiny car, very tiny trunk, it's a two-seater, and I fit $250 worth of groceries in the trunk of the Miata. That is sad. That is just so sad that $250 worth of food can fit into such a small place, but that's just where we are these days, but, just so glad that we're trusting in the Lord to get us through. But all think what that means is that when people um, are spending more at the pump and more at the grocery store, they have less to spend, on yarn. And because yarn is not, while we may think it's essential, I know that it's cheaper than medical. um, anyway, it's cheaper than getting mental help for some of us, but it is an extra. So it's not something that you have to survive. Which is why a lot of the times when I release some things, like even this latest scarf, if you don't have the money to go out and go shopping, I get that. I get that. Um, Go to your stash. Go to all that yarn that you've maybe purchased in the past and you didn't know what to do with it, especially if it's a bulky weight yarn. We've got the perfect thing. And you can change it up. You can change the color. You can make it multicolored. It doesn't have to look, exactly like this. It can look however you want it to be. So but yeah, that is sad. I mean, it may be that brands outside of what their main, warehouses supply cost extra. I don't know what the deal is, but I've noticed that too. I've noticed that the entire yarn departments are shrinking in the stores. Um, yeah, but anyway, um, yeah, I'm not an economist, so I can't really comment more. All I know is I feel it too. I understand. Um, and she says, that Stitchtastic says, I haven't seen the paint box yarn. Where do you get it? I usually shop at my local yarn store, so I'm not in the big box stores often. Yeah, this is the paint box is only available online. It's actually Lovecrafts is where I discovered this yarn thanks to It's Crochet O'Clock. Stephanie, do you remember Stephanie? And she's not really releasing a lot these days, but a sweet gal. But yeah, I found out about this from her, and then I started using it because of her glowing review about it, and then I just kind of fell in love with it. And it's just easier for me to buy it online because when I make a throw with 4,000 yards, I can get it all in the same dye lot. If I tried to buy yarn locally at my big box stores, it would take me umpteen trips. I even wrote a parody song about it. Trying to find enough yarn in the same dye lot of the same brand and color is nearly impossible. It can be done sometimes with the Caron 1 pounders, but if you want something a little bit nicer than that, it's really hard. It's really hard. So that's why it's just more economical. And with the sales that they have and with the free shipping, that's what I do. But that said, I do support local indie dyers. I do support my local yarn stores as well for the finer yarns that are also, like, I'm wearing them now. I mean, those are the ones that I wear in scarves and shawls all the time once the weather, um, gets colder. So I kinda like to spread the wealth around, I guess, so to speak. Um, yeah. But like you, I'm not in the big box stores that much anymore anyway because the selection has just not there anymore. And we have Tammy says, "Good morning from Kansas City, watching on color layout for a new project that will be a Christmas gift, or working on color layout for a new project that will be a Christmas gift." Excellent. And yeah, and Brat's mom is telling Hannah, "School is like a full-time job with attendance and homeworks. My hat is off to you." Yeah, and she's already got a full-time job too, taking care of Grandma Barker. So yeah, she's got a lot going on. And Susan B, welcome to the chat. And Felicia, good afternoon. And oh, thank you, Stephanie, for your kind comment. Um, yeah. And Brad's mom tells Hannah, "You're already ahead of your classmates. You have practical experience." Oh, yes, she does. And she can add about 15 years prior to that, helping to take care of Grandma Barker, although she was quite young when we started doing that. But she was definitely in on elder care for many years, even before going to South Carolina. And thank you again, Denise, for a reminder of hitting the thumbs up. And let's see. And Barbara, so good to have you. She says, okay, okay, Barbara's the one asking, describe the editing process. Yeah, I would just need to know kind of more of what you're referring to, but basically, I film as I design. I have an idea, I sketch things out. Do I even have my sketchbooks are all over there. I have a sketchbook, I have lots of numbers, lots of math that I do. I do swatching. Yeah, that bad word, swatching, to see, just how big the stitches are gonna be and get an idea, how big is it gonna be if I put this many motifs in it across and whatnot. And after a lot of swatching and math, then I just dive in and implement the project. And I try to record as I go, and that way I have an exact and row by row, play by play of what I've done. Edit the video down so that it's comprehensible. Um, and then from that, I do the actual writing. And then after I've written it all out, um, and go over my work, I send it off to an editor who tech edits what I've done in writing, as well as she watches the video to see how well it matches, and she lets me know if she sees any discrepancies, and so that helps me to go back and clarify. And beyond that, the closed captions is also edited by we hire a service called Simon Says, where you can send a video and then they translate that into verbiage, into written words. And oftentimes the artificial intelligence apparently doesn't know how much about crocheting and knitting. And so my sister, I hire her as a contractor to go over all of the writing from the AI and change the words to what they should be. And it's mostly the crochet centric kind of language, and using the right homonym and whatnot in the language. And the reason I want it to be as clean as possible, as close to the original English as possible, is because then we run that through Simon Says translation, and we translate that into 11 additional languages for the closed captions, so that people all around the world can have access to the videos, if that makes sense. So it's a lot of work. It involves myself, my husband helping with some technology, my sister doing some of the editing, um, my friend Carolyn um, does the actual tech editing for me. I'm going to be using somebody else for the sweater that's gonna be coming. I'm waiting to hear back from her, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. Now that does by no means will that eliminate every single possibility of mistakes. We're all human. It's easy to miss something here and there, but that's what we do to try to ensure that it's as ready to go out to you as possible. Um, I don't use testers. I don't go through a lot of that. Um, and I won't get into all that, but I'm more old school. I just like to follow the written word, and I just use people who are experienced already. I just don't have I won't get into it with the testers. I know some people, you all enjoy testing for others, and that's great. But if I'm going to hire testers, I'm going to pay my testers. I'm not going to have them work for free for a business, and I just don't believe in the ethics of that personally. Although I know some of you enjoy that, but and that's fine. That's fine. That's just my conscience that just doesn't go for that. So anyway, and if I ever find mistakes, I do correct them as quickly as I possibly can. And mistakes are just part of being human, although we take them very seriously, which is why we spend time and money to try to eradicate them as much as possible. All right. And there's another reason why I self-publish now, because when you're working with a whole team of people you don't know and can't control what they do, yeah, stuff happens. So we don't do that anymore. Um, all right. Where were we? Okay. Susan B says, I am always watching, but don't always have a computer open to chat with you. Okay. What size is the Christmas blanket? 4,000 is a lot of yards. It's in the ballpark of about 44, 45 inches wide by about 60 inches long. It is heavily textured, lots and lots of post stitches in this throw. And as we get closer, I will show you photos, but I'm not ready to show you the photos of them just yet. I want to just camp out on the ball morale cabled throw for a while, and I want y'all to enjoy that one first. And then when we get to the one for Christmas, it's just gonna be kind of cable crazy. I'll just say that. But thank you for that prompt, Barbie. And yeah. Which question is that, Hannah? I don't know which question you're referring to. Um, okay. And we have, is it Anetta? It says, hello, Bonnie. Where can I buy your patterns? And are they okay? We've already answered that one. Um, I did not get that question yet, Hannah. Um, okay. Okay, Felicia says, I signed up for your newsletter, but I haven't received any. I haven't sent them out in about a week and a half. So I'll be trying to send one out probably next week. I was hoping to do one this morning, but the day just got away from me and I wasn't able to do that. Okay, so Josie has a great question here. What's your personal strategy for avoiding crochet burnout and keeping things fresh and fun? Do other things. I think that's a great question. That's a great question. And I think it's something I have struggled with at times. Um, and I think when I do, I just have to step away. I just have to do something else. Focus on maybe organizing my home. Um, I have a lot of business related things to do with what I do with the crochet business. I don't just sit and crochet and play with yarn all day. That would be fun to do, but I also know that my hands, my joints would not be able to take it if I did, like, if I the Christmas throw, for example, if I finished that in a week, it would probably put me in need of surgery because of all the repetitive motion. So I think it's just nice to just take breaks here and there. A lot of what I do has to do with video editing and a lot of computer work. So I'm not crocheting all the time. So that kind of keeps it fresh for me. Um, I this summer, I went out and spent more time in the yard working, uh, growing flowers, and guess what? They are still in front of my house. The deer have not eaten my flowers yet, and I think it's because I used the knitting needles with the monofilament clear line, which was actually beading thread, strung between them, and I can see where the deer tried to eat a little bit, but I think the string brushed their nose as they did, and they got startled and they left them. So, get outside and do other things when you can. If you like to play music, I love to get out the guitar and do just work on something else, just concentrate on some other things. Um, if it's in the wintertime when you can't get out a lot, I also knit a little bit. I don't knit a lot, as you well know, because I don't bring a lot of things to you. Most of the things I bring are crochet. Um, I really have to be in the right mood to knit, but sometimes if I'm tired of the motion in my hand or whatever for crochet and I'm just sitting watching a game or something or a race with my husband, I'll get out the knitting and just work on that. It's a different motion. Yeah. But again, if you get tired of it, remember this is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be, intense. It's not a contest as far as, for our personal enrichment goes. So just take a break from it. Do something else. Read a book. I that's kind of what I'd recommend. Um, Sometimes having the pressure of providing new things, often for the YouTube, it kind of keeps me going, but sometimes that can become a grind as well. And so I used to try to release something every week, but if you've noticed, I've gone to like every other week on new designs. And even so, I did that last year. That's still 26 new designs in a year, which is we calculated, the yarn usage just from last year after having cut back, and it was more than the distance in a marathon. It was more than 26 point whatever, 26.3 is it? Miles of yarn in a year. So, yeah, feel free to cut back and, don't feel that you have to do everything. That's why I specialize too, because there's so many other things I could do with crochet. It just has no end to it. Like I've told people, I'm gonna have to live to be at least 300 to implement all my ideas that I have right now. I know that's not gonna happen. Um, so yeah, I probably ranted on too much there, Tammy. I'm sorry, or Josie. I'm sorry about that. Um, And the Christmas blanket is just all one color, Tammy. It just all one. This is the color I used. You can use any color. Even a darker red might look nice, but this is color number 214 if you wanted to duplicate this. It's really tricky to photograph, I will say. And in the videos, depending on the light coming in and the way my hands interact with the light, sometimes it looks a little more orangey than it truly is. It's really a nice red color. But a red or even a burgundy would be absolutely gorgeous for this, or even a dark, even a nice green color. And in fact, if you don't even want to make this a Christmas throw, you can just make it all white, or you can make it whatever you want it to be. You can make it a Hanukkah throw. You can make it a beautiful blue color. If you are into that, it really doesn't matter. It's whatever you wanna do, but I recommend, a solid color and and nothing too dark, just so that you can see the cables. Alright, let me see where I am. I'm a little bit over time today, but I wanna make sure that I've gotten to everybody. Yeah. Hi, Diane, she's joining us from New Jersey. So glad to see you. Sorry it's taking me so long. And, B Fun says, "Hi, just finished a Celtic throw. It turned out beautiful. Thanks a million for the pattern. It will not be the last time I use it. Greetings from Denmark." Well, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Denmark. Goodness gracious, that's so far. And Nessa, great to have you with us. And, yeah, and that's Stitchtastic says, "I'll be sure to be looking for that on the newsstands with the Crochet World magazine that's coming out." And thank you, Stephanie, for the comment. Yeah, she says, She says, "When I saw Balmoral, I thought of the Queen of England." Yeah. Thank you. And in fact, the name I was talking with Britt, who is the editor of Crochet World, and we weren't sure what to call it, and so she came up with that. I said that sounds good to me. Let's go with that. So with our little collaboration there. Um, and thank you for your encouragement, Monique. Um, Great question. Sharon Archer sends in, "Hi, visiting my family for my birthday. You're 75 tomorrow. Well, congratulations, Sharon. Happy birthday, my friend." She says, 12-year-old granddaughter wants to learn to crochet. What size hook yarn would be best to start? I would say big. Big is best. You know, worsted weight works fine, and maybe a size I hook. It's really up to you, but I or J, and let me show you. I I got me a new set of these. Went to Michael's with Joann's with my coupon. I would highly recommend the Susan Bates too if you're starting. And again, this is not a paid endorsement. This is just a strong, strong personal preference. If she's never crocheted before, the hooks really are shaped in such a way as to make it easier to pull the yarn through. And it's not a tapered shaft. It's just an well, inline shaft. It's just trust me, it works better. And any worsted weight yarn, stick with a lighter colored yarn, you know what I mean? Don't start with the fuzzy stuff because it could be harder for them. But you know how to do it. You're 75. You could probably run circles around me. Sharon, you probably know. But I would definitely stick with something lighter colored. Nothing, nothing smaller than a worsted weight yarn, and nothing smaller than an I hook. I or a J even. Or even if you want to go to a thicker yarn, that would work too. And also if you can find something that's pretty enough to keep their interest, interesting enough, but not the kind of yarn that's going to tangle and just frustrate, if that makes sense. All right. Oh, thank you for the recommendation on ponchos, Stephanie. Um, yeah. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody. We have Ekstrom in this chat. Yay. It's just good afternoon. I'm late. We'll watch the replay. Thanks again for your latest cable pattern. I'm planning to make it using Egyptian cotton. Ooh, that's going to be nice. And Shiny says, "Hi, Bonnie and Hannah. I have started on Rahab's scarf. Thank you so much for your detailed instructions. I'm doing such cables for the first time. Excellent. I hope you enjoy that one." That was another one using Laura's yarn from the conference. Um, and Beth H says, "What size hook?" Terry wants to know. For the Christmas throw, it'll be a size I hook for me personally, but you know that the size hook is really up to whatever you prefer when you do the fabric. I don't remember if Terry is a very tight crocheter or loose crocheter. That could change, what you decide to do, but it's, whatever you like. I use the size I or 9 or 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. Oh, thank you, Barbara. She likes the skinny scarf. And she said that scarf will be fun for Christmas giving. Yes, you can work this up in an afternoon or at best, at the most over a weekend. Maybe I'm trying to think. I would say 3 to 4 hours, you could probably work this up. I mean, there is the learning curve to consider on the stitching, but once you get it, I mean, you're talking 1, 2, 15, 17, 18, 19, maybe 20 stitches, 20 stitches per row, just back and forth, back and forth. That goes really quickly. Uh, all right. And Felicia says she uses the boy crochet hooks. Yeah, I mean, you're either one or the other. It's just whatever your muscle memory really connects with the most. Um, and Brat's mom says, "I love thread crochet since I bought Susan Lohman's Annie's classes." Excellent. Thanks for supporting my friend Susan. She is wonderful. Oh, thank you for your kind comments, Monique. And Donna D, welcome. She says, we'll watch the replay. Just got home. Um, and Cynthia says, I have a set from, this is a crochet hooks from the 1800s and the old sale box. They displayed them in the store. Love them. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how, even when I was a kid, just how cheap a lot of these things were. Well, all right. Uh, let's see. Josie says, thanks for the time to answer my question and sharing such beautiful patterns with us. My pleasure, Josie. Um, and thanks again, guys, for ladies and gentlemen, just for sending in your questions and everything. And thank you for your comments, just Stephanie and everybody. I I'm gonna just go ahead. I do want to read something to y'all before I sign off. Um, see, Carol says, I got a little bogged down on the Joseph's blanket, but we'll get back to it. It's beautiful. Thank you for your support. Oh, my pleasure, Carol. Yeah. And somebody was talking about knitting. Mary says, you said to knit for a while. I've started doing asymmetrical scarves and shawls. They're very easy and stress-free. Yeah, knitting is interesting. I mean, if you're looking for something different, if you're just kind of feeling just really tired of the crocheting, that'll definitely do it. Um, and Sharon Archer says, thank you, Bonnie. That was my idea too. She bought me a cute kit, but I could barely see the hook, let alone crochet with it. Thanks to all the birthday wishes. Oh, our pleasure. So we have people in the chat. They're saying they like. Nessa says she learned and used Susan Bates hooks, and same with Feather River Crafter. Yeah, and it's not like I don't I certainly don't wanna, cause a great divide on this. It's just it matters. I'm thinking if someone's starting off brand new and they don't have a preference, I'm definitely gonna recommend the Susan Bates because I think they are just more ergonomically shaped, just drawing the yarn through. But that said, if you started off with the boy crochet hooks, then that's gonna be your preference, and that's fine. We are all friends. It's like, oh, I'm a knitter, oh, I'm a crocheter. There doesn't have to be this dividing line. And that I will say about Pittsburgh, that's the one thing I loved about it is we were all friends. I mean, we were all together. I mean, it was, all together now. I mean, just it was fine. There's not a us and them. It's not a divide, it's not like politics, God forbid, or anything like that. Just great people and just enjoying both crafts equally and loved it. Loved it. Well, let me go ahead. I wanted to read a little bit before we go. I read this. I'm on this. Okay, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. I like to read encouraging words at the end. For those of you who are new, I like to read something, and it generally, centers on scripture. And this is not to insult anybody. This is not um, not to offend or in any way, shape, or form. It's just that in the world we live in, I need encouragement. I need to be reminded of what's real and what's the truth. And it gets a little convoluted these days with all the messaging, and it's just coming at us, through all these little boxes that we carry with us and fast and furious in a way that I don't remember as a kid. So I like to get back and recenter. And I'm on this. I'm going to go ahead and take time to show you this thing. I am on this. I'll have to put it in the video. I've used this for years. It's a discipleship journal. It's just a Bible reading plan. It's a book at a time Bible reading plan, and it takes you through the Bible in a year. Sometimes I go much more slowly than that because I want to marinate in it and I want to focus. I don't want to just rush through it. I want to just, anyway. So I take my time, but the good news is I do get through it. I go from cover to cover, whether it be a year or whether it be 2 years or a year and a half or whatever. And I'm coming up on December. Um, so it's not that I finished early. It's just that I've taken a slower pace, but I'll be finishing this again, and and then I'll restart again. And I'm not going to wait till January to start. I will start as soon as I finish. I will go back and review it again because there's so much and it's so good, and it's in little bits and pieces, and it has days where there's no assignment so that you can catch up if you fall behind. And again, it's not to use it legalistically, just just as a reference, just kind of as a motivational tool. So this week I was reading following this, and came across some of my favorite passages in Isaiah, which is in the Old Testament. He's a prophet. And I just wanted to read. These are going to sound familiar to you because you've seen these in craft stores, I'm sure. But I just love the depth of the word. So I'm just going to read from Isaiah 40, starting with verses 28 and finishing with verse 31. Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. How wonderful is that? I feel like I'm in that category so often. I'll read that verse again. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. I know you don't feel like sometimes, but this is true. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So I just hope that encourages you um, in this world. I know I need to keep close to these encouragements. There is good news out there, and that's a little piece of it. So, anyway, thank you guys for joining me again, and I just want to wish you a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye bye.